Northside was established in 1971. The folks of our church came forward and made an appeal to our church leadership to consider a Christian school. Our founding pastor, William Ashbrook, had for many years a vision for a Christian school.
When I first started going to Northside, we were still in the building there at Calvary, and the last couple years that I was there, it was getting crowded and we didn't have enough room because we were adding grades every year.
So we were very quickly outgrowing our facilities. The classrooms were small, the elementary was kind of scattered about. The founding pastor, Pastor Ashbrook, owned this piece of property.
For the building that we are currently in, this took place after the tragedy in Xenia, Ohio. There was a tornado, horrific tornado. That community then invested in some mobile units for their school buildings, of which they erected. When they were ready to discard those units, God allowed some of the men in our church to become aware of that. And so they traveled down there, they met with the community leaders, and the rest is kind of history. Those units were purchased, they were brought up here, and that was the first facility that we had here on these grounds.
As you look back, there's all kinds of miracles of God's provision that we're amazed at.
As a 5th grade student, it was exciting to come in and have that building there in a new location. Definitely could see how the Lord provided.
Every step of the way, again, it was just God. It was God showing that He wanted to provide for His people. It all began with clearing the land, with providing an army of people, volunteers to come forward and get the land cleared. Then after that, all of the skilled laborers that we need, God just kept sending them to us one after another.
It was amazing to see this building. I never imagined that we could have a building like this here. Well, we definitely need a new building. I think that building has gone far beyond its life expectancy.
This building has served us well, but its original design, its original intent was to be temporary. It has lived a good life, and it is time to shut it down.
So when we look at things like the Dubner Center, at one point it was just a matter of faith. And now we look at it and we see, no, this is something that God has done. And so now as we look at this next thing that we believe God has called us to, the elementary school building, and we don't see it, but we understand that by faith, it can and will happen.
We like to kind of think through as humans, as Christians, well, God, you could do it this way, or you could do it this way, or here is our campaign, here's what we want to do. And I've always said, as I've gotten older, that as you look back, you marvel at God's provision, that He always does it in such a way that is different than the way we were thinking. So I think that's the exciting part. Nothing wrong with being good stewards, making plans, beginning a building campaign. But what we have seen just time and time again in so many aspects of the school, of God's provision and doing it in a way that He's sovereign, He's good, and He's going to do it for His glory. And that's the most exciting part of it.
I believe that God has a purpose for Northside. I think that He has made that very evident here. And I don't really know what God's plan is. I do believe that He will provide a building. It's something that we need, and He's made it very evident that He wants Northside to be here. I'm excited to see how God's going to provide, because when God does something, He does it so that He's the one that gets the glory ultimately.